Macca's Guides.
Hey everyone, Mackie here, Doom the Dark Ages 100% walkthrough. Mission 9 starts with us also having 3 mission challenges here. These ones are pretty easy. Let's get 10 direct hits with the grenade launcher out of the way as soon as possible. There's also a mission challenge called Sawed Off, which is unlocked for basically stun locking an enemy with a saw throw, so we'll have to do that on a larger enemy. A pretty open area you can tackle in a variety of ways. We'll also get our first Wraithstone of the campaign, which we can use to fully upgrade a weapon. That unlocks a weapon mastery challenge, which we'll begin working towards. As soon as you spawn, go ahead and take out some enemies with direct hits from the grenade launcher. Go up to the Sentinel Shrine, and I'm going to be purchasing the Super Shotgun upgrade for now. You can also use your rubies if you have a couple of extra ones. From the Sentinel Shrine, go ahead and move to the right-hand side. We're going to be going counterclockwise, number 1, because I like to, but number 2, because it is the easiest and quickest path to get the secret key around the corner. With the secret key, we'll have to basically have minimal backtracking through other areas in the mission later on. When you do throw your saw, you'll be able to stun lock enemies and work towards the sawed off challenge. And also make sure you are getting direct hits with the grenade launcher just to get that out of the way as quickly as possible. You can then switch to whatever weapon you enjoy playing with. Now that the battle is over, we'll be able to go up the path that's on the opposite side from where we entered, around the corner, towards the secret key, towards one of our main objectives. Our main objectives, there are 3 switches around the map that power parts in the middle of the map, and then once we power all 3, we can leave to the next area. So once we come up and around that corner, there'll be a ton of enemies with shields. I believe there is a Revenant. You can stun lock that Revenant pretty easily with your shield in order to get a bunch of the mission challenges now out of the way. The only other mission challenge we have now is to find 7 secret areas, which I will definitely show you. After taking out the Revenant, you may get a Mancubus Enforcer, which we'll take care of. And then after we do that, we'll be able to grab a bunch of collectibles, and we'll be able to grab a secret key and interact with the switch. You'll end the fight by taking out a leader. This will allow you to get the demonic health upgrade here to have a maximum of 140 if you've been keeping along. You'll then be able to use the switch, but do not drop down in front of yourself. After the small cutscene, there are a few collectibles we'll want to grab. Turn around from the switch, 180 degrees, walk forward, and look to your left. As you approach, there's a small path that leads down a hill. And on this path, there are, I believe, 5 quick gold pickups and a chain to break. Break that chain and then ignore that door for a while. Instead, you want to head back up the hill towards where we were, heading across the room to reveal a breakable wall that you can shield charge through. And if you shield charge through this wall, you'll end up finding a couple more pieces of gold and a secret key. This secret key will be super helpful so that we don't have to backtrack very much. With the secret key, drop down and go directly forward in front of yourself. At the end of the walkway directly in front of you, you'll find a door that is unlocked via the secret key. And then inside of this door, I believe we can find a gold chest. So that's a secret area plus 50 more gold. We're now going to backtrack to the very beginning of the mission, and there is another door we can open with our newly found secret key, not far from where we started when we first spawned. You might have a couple of extra gold you can spend at the Sentinel Shrine if you so desire. So as you approach the first initial spawn on the left-hand side now, because we're facing the opposite direction, you'll find a secret area through with the secret key. You'll be able to take out a zombie, and here you'll find your first of 3 dog statues. We'll have to find all 3 in order to unlock a Wraithstone later on. So that's our first dog statue, and as soon as you take it out, a couple of enemies will now meet you at the bottom of the hill, including a Hell Knight and a Super Mancubus with a bunch of shields as well. So we're going to be using our typical kind of parries and shield throws to disarm it and take it out as quickly as possible. And as soon as we do that, now we can face the Sentinel Shrine, and we'll actually be working clockwise around the map to end up at the statue with the dogs at the end. It's just kind of the most optimized way to do it. So turn left, a couple of flying demon skulls will attack you. There'll be a couple of Hell Knights, as well as, I believe, a Pinky on the platform to our right. And as we take out all of the enemies, you may notice above your head there is a grapple point. You can notice the kind of green goo and the life sigil that's kind of hanging from a crane. Nearby, there's also an ability to get full health, full armor using this blue skull, so we'll quickly pick that up. And then as we walk forward, you'll notice that crane I was talking about directly in front of me. And to the right of that crane, you'll find the grapple point. So we're going to grapple up there. There's also some pieces of gold we'll want to grab. So even if you don't need the life sigil, we still want to do this. A couple of enemies spawning to kind of ruin our day a little bit, but don't worry about them too much. Now we'll want to make our way up on that grapple point. There's also a golden chest. We can't grab that until later. When you grapple up, you will get a secret area, 3 pieces of gold, a sprint jump across, 3 more pieces of gold, drop down, push the lever. This drops the life sigil from the crane, which you can now pick up. From the life sigil, go ahead and continue clockwise around the outer edges of the map. As you turn the corner, there's 3 pieces of gold. They try to lead you to the forward location. Instead, turn right and drop down from the ledge to find 5 more pieces of gold and a gold chest. Then there is a latch you can break open with your shield, and you'll circle back, hooking around to the right as you come out and following the outer edges of the map clockwise. As you enter into the next area, look to your immediate left. There will be a small break in the rocks, and through that break in the rocks, you can drop down, finding a secret ledge on the edge of the map. And as you drop down onto this ledge, you should probably use a super shotgun as a good recommendation. Pick up the stacks of gold and then take out the Hell Knights as easily as possible. A couple shots with your super shotgun should take them out quickly. And now we'll be able to work towards the next main objective in front of us. There will be a bunch of shielded enemies, and a couple of whiplashes will spawn, I believe, a Pinky Rider. So once you take out all of these enemies, we'll be able to move on, as we are currently locked in the area. Once the gate drops, you can go ahead and pretty much interact with the main objective there, which is our second out of 3. we are making pretty good progress here, but there are a lot of collectibles still to grab. After the cutscene, I will quickly open up my auto map for a quick collectible counter, and I believe we have 4 out of 9 secrets, and I personally have 135 gold. I think you'll have 5 more than me because I filmed this slightly out of order. No rubies, no Wraithstones. We have completed one of the demonic essences. From this button, drop down, and directly underneath you, you'll see a couple of pieces of gold that lead you to the next area. So follow those, as they're a pretty good directional suggestion. As you come into the next area, there is a locked wolf statue behind a gate. I believe the vagary spawns. We're going to take them out as quickly as we can. I like using the pin cushion ability here. And as soon as we can, we will take them out. We will be using the combat shotgun quite a bit during this mission because we are going to work towards the weapon mastery for it. But with all of the enemies taken care of, go ahead and we can now take out your second of 3 dog statues. And then from this dog statue, you can continue along the outer edge of the map, and you will notice a secret not too far. But instead, we're going to quickly run towards the center of the map. There will be 5 or 4 pieces of gold here that lead towards the center. And because we've interacted with 2 switches, there will be a bunch of enemies waiting for us near the center of the map. I believe there is an enforcer and a couple of shielded enemies, as well as a rock imp. Take these enemies out as quickly as you can. From the main gate, we want to continue kind of towards where the secret key was. Here you'll notice that there is a locked Wraithstone behind the dog statue portal things. So we have 2 of them, and the third one is directly above the third dog. So luckily, once we have all 3 of them, it'll open up the Wraithstone, which we can then use for weapon masteries. But before we can do that, there are a couple of enemies that will try to get in our way, most notably a Whiplash and a quick Revenant. So we're going to parry the Revenant, use our shield to stun lock it, and quickly take it out. I like the combat shotgun, as I've mentioned countless times, because it has Ignite and does a lot of damage. We can quickly work through enemies. Pick up the Wraithstone. The Wraithstone is similar to a ruby. It's a specific currency that we can use to upgrade to the final tier of a weapon. So you can now take your new Wraithstone, as well as a decent amount of gold that you may have. You can take all of that to a Sentinel Shrine and use it. Now, you're free to use your Wraithstone however you want. I'm going to just kind of do weapons pretty much in order. So the first weapon here we'll work on is the combat shotgun. And using the Wraithstone allows you to unlock the last upgrade, but also triggers the Weapon Mastery Challenge, which is to hit demons with every pellet from a combat shotgun, doing that 150 times to complete the mastery. I'm going to be aggressively working on this for the rest of the mission, with my goal being to finish this weapon mastery by the end of the mission. I did also use some of my extra gold to upgrade the grenade launcher for the first upgrade. Not a weapon I particularly enjoy using, but we're going to have to upgrade everything anyways, so why not just spend some gold there? I'm going to end up using some of the shield upgrades and melee upgrades a little bit later. Now we're going to work towards that final objective, keeping in mind that I'm going to be aggressively working on the weapon mastery, which is for not missing any shots with the combat shotgun. That's going to involve oftentimes me using the shield to stun lock an enemy and then getting up nice, close, and personal with the enemy to make sure that all of the shots land. I'm also going to be using melee attacks to refill my shotgun ammo when necessary. And as you work towards the last objective, there's really only one way to go, and we're going to be going that direction. I will open up the auto map here in a second, just so you can make sure you know exactly where I am. There is 2 Mancubus and a Revenant for now, and like I mentioned earlier, aggressively working towards my combat shotgun mastery when possible. Now from here, let's quickly drop down away from the objective. We're doing this because that's the only way to actually get to the objective. But on the outskirts of the map, you will notice that there is a Codex page, as well as a couple of gold pickups. So make sure you drop down onto this ledge and grab the 5 gold and the Codex. You will have to come pretty close to this area, so on your natural path, you should get close enough for the map to also fill up with these collectibles. And then what we can do is stick to the left-hand side after climbing up. If you look to the right as you round the corner, you'll find a breakable wall. You can break through that wall in order to get progress towards the secrets, but you'll also be able to grab a life sigil, which for me it's not very important at this moment. As you exit the life sigil, go ahead and wrap around to the right-hand side, working your way towards our main objective now, which is to push the third and final button. You can push the button whenever you're ready, by the way. It doesn't, like, start a cutscene and force you to end the mission or anything. But there are a lot of collectibles I will end up grabbing along the path here. No specific recommendations for this arena other than to work on your weapon mastery. I would also recommend that you should have most of your mission challenges done with, other than the one for finding 7 secrets. Now, once the gate drops, I'm going to not interact with the lever because there are a lot of collectibles I want to grab before I do that. From the button, go to the right-hand side, do a sprint jump across the gap, landing on 3 pieces of gold. Do not go through the secret key door. Instead, drop off the ledge to the left. Here you'll find another stack of 8 more gold. And then now you can jump back onto the ledge using your secret key to get through the secret key door. Once you get through that door, go ahead and do a sprint jump across the gap. As you come around the corner, there will be an enemy here. You are free to use your combat shotgun to work on that mastery. There is some armor and some health pickups around there, and then a couple of shielded enemies also around the corner here. And once we take care of those enemies, at the end of the path, you'll find a ruby and a secret collectible. So make sure you pick up both of them before you move on. After you do grab both of them, you can go ahead and just click the button to proceed with our main objective. There is an upcoming point of no return. I will make sure to let you know what our collectible counts are at before we leave the area, so don't worry about missing anything for now. After pushing all 3 of the buttons, you will be faced with a Agadon Hunter as the kind of final boss to leave the area. This is the same boss we fought at the end of the last mission. My recommendations stay mostly the same. Chain Shot is a great weapon as you can hit them twice between their shields, and make sure you hit all your parries when possible to make quick work of the Hunter. With the hunter now finding its final resting place, you can work towards the gate in front of you, and our collectible counters are 5 out of 9 secrets, 174 gold, 1 ruby, 1 wraithstone, and 1 demonic essence, 2 out of 4 collectibles. In front of us, through a couple of doors, is an elevator, and that elevator is a point of no return for the mission. I assumed that the mission would actually end here, and I was a little bit worried about the fact that I probably missed some collectibles, but there's actually still a decent amount of hallways to go. Now, through the door in front of you, there will be a whiplash and a mancubus. I will be working on my combat shotgun mastery accordingly by stun locking them, getting up nice and close, keeping a steady aim, which obviously can make you a target for some of the attacks that are flying through the air, but it makes it pretty easy to work on the mastery and not have to worry about much ammo. In the next room, a similar vibe. Let's take out the enemies, and there is a secret in this room before we leave. As we take out the enemies, on the far end of the room, you can shield charge through a wall. Here you'll find a small hole in another wall where you can throw your shield to release a latch. This will open up a gate, allowing us to grab a ruby, which you don't see on my screen. Just because of how I film these videos, sometimes I end up using different footage. So grab that ruby and make sure you have it before you move on. All the little secrets and collectibles are pretty densely packed around this corner, so go towards our mission marker. As you exit, there will be a few enemies in front of you. One of them is a rock imp, which you can make very quick work of. And then what you'll want to do is you'll want to walk straight forward from kind of where we entered, drop down and turn around, and at the end of the ledge, you'll notice an energy node. Throw your shield at the energy node to lift the elevator I'm currently standing on. And then from here, you can do 1 or 2 sprint jumps over a gap in order to find a chest. This is also our 7th out of 9 secret areas, allowing us to unlock our mission challenge. From here, we can work towards the marker, jumping across one gap and then across another gap. Here, there's a hallway. To our right, there's a secret area. So to get to that secret area, jump up the ledge around the corner and then drop down off of the end of the platform. There is a quick enemy here. We will, just do that to it to not have to worry about it. Drop off the ledge, revealing a couple pieces of gold and a latch and a secret area. So we'll grab all 3 of those things before we make our way to the very top of this platform. Once you reach the top, there will be some flying skulls. I don't recommend using a combat shotgun on them, or the shield isn't particularly useful, but it's just kind of what I had equipped and was pretty easy to do. Once we are on this platform, stand near the middle of it and look up, and you should notice a superheated metal latch. Let's go ahead and throw our shield at that latch to reveal a platform that will lower itself down. We can now jump across the gap in the correct direction of the mission, use the energy node to raise the elevator, and then turn back around facing where we came from, using the ledge we were just lowering in order to grapple across. Once you're up here and you've grappled across, there is a life sigil. There is a collectible secret, which is a weapon skin, and there's also a Codex page, and this counts as a secret area. So we made quite a bit of progress there in the final hour. Go ahead and ride the elevator up now to the enemies, which are unfairly already shooting me with their shields, as I haven't even made it up the elevator. Working towards my shotgun mastery as well on some of these enemies is a great idea. We want to try our best to master 1 weapon per mission from this point on, just because there's about 8 weapons left to master and about 8 missions left to do, give or take a few missions. But there's also a couple of really short missions that don't really have much opportunity to grind those. At the end of the mission, let's do a quick check. 9 out of 9 secrets. We have all the gold, all the rubies, all the Wraithstones, 1 out of the 2 demonic essences, 4 out of the 4 possible collectibles. We're going to interact with the super shrine. Feel free to pick up an upgrade real quick if you want. I'm actually going to save my rubies, I think, because I didn't know what I wanted for the time being. I wanted to work on my combat shotgun before I made my next decision. Walk through the door, and here you will find out about Sheild ruins, which are basically just optional ruins that you can apply to your shield for them to do specific effects. The first one we unlock is the ground fissure, which splits the ground in front of you and then kind of dazes enemies, allowing you to then finish them off. Now, for this battle, we're obviously going to do our best to stay alive. We're going to do our best to correctly do parries when possible. But for me, the first and most important priority is to work towards our combat shotgun weapon mastery. Again, the challenge is to hit enemies with 150 ammo worth of combat shotgun without a single pellet missing. This just means we have to be very close to an enemy. It's primarily going to work on enemies that are very large and that take a lot of damage. If you kill the enemy before the rest of your pellets come out, you obviously can't get all of the pellets to hit, and you'll end up wasting a lot of ammo. There is a morale-based enemy here in this final arena. That's just as a reminder, an enemy that you can't damage until you lower the purple bar of morale at the top of the screen, and that's going to be lowered by just defeating other enemies in the arena before you go and try to tackle them. As we begin nearing the end of the battle, you will see my fully loaded achievement/trophy unlocking, which is for completing the weapon mastery for a single weapon. We will have to complete all of the weapon masteries, but it's good that we kind of got the combat shotgun out of the way pretty quickly. It is the next mission. We will be able to get another Wraithstone and work towards another weapon mastery. But for now, we don't have to. We're not forced to use the combat shotgun unless we really want to. Take out the final morale leader, and this will be a demonic essence upgrade, and this one is for the cell ammo type, which is the plasma cycler and accelerator. You'll then automatically finish the mission, get the challenge complete screen, 100% on Ancestral Forge. Thanks for watching. Drop a like on the video, share the video with a friend. I'll see you next time. Peace.